You, as his biggest booster in the media, you stayed with him through thick and thin, and it kept getting thinner and thinner. And eventually, you finally said, okay, fine, he's no good. And no lie, Dan, like, I don't think it's an accident. You came out and said that, and that week, Coach benches him. He took him out of the game. Not a coincidence, Dan. However, Dan, Coach just named Hurts his starting quarterback. Your thoughts?
I mean, I am honored and humbled that you think I have that much influence. It means a lot to me. I don't think that I have that much influence. All right, so I'm gonna be dead honest here and have like a real conversation instead of just going back and forth. Like this decision had to be made. The reasons for this decision, everybody in Philadelphia has their hands in. You know, everybody in Philadelphia has their hands in why this came to be the situation that it's in right now. That being said, Carson Wentz opened this door with poor play. You know, he's had very few highs and way too many lows this season. So his play gave the organization we had no other choice but to make this move, essentially like an ultimatum, right? Because he wasn't playing good football. Jalen Hurts has got his hands full because this is a bad team and beat up offense, and obviously going to play against the Saints, which is one of the best defenses in football, the best secondary in football right now. What does it mean long term? Like, that's where my mind goes for Carson Wentz, because I don't think there's any chance that he's not in Philly next year because of the money. I don't think that there is. I could be dead wrong on that. So, yeah.
No, I think you're right. They're not going to find a sucker to take him.
I think of, okay, what does Carson Wentz need to do? Number one, he needs to figure out why this happened. He needs to stare himself in the mirror and ask the question, okay, Carson, why did this happen? What do I have to do to make sure that this never happens again? He has to take accountability for it. He has to be honest and transparent with it. Then the next step is to figure out as an organization, is it Wentz? Is it Doug Peterson? I don't think it can be both next year. I don't think, because I don't think the player will trust the coach. I don't, the player getting.
But wait a minute, Dan, hold on. Let's step back before you get on to trust. See, I have a problem with what you just said, because let's start with this. There are a bunch of facts, right? And then you interpret the facts a certain way. I saw him regressing. Last year. I saw a continuation of it this year. Did it have partly to do with receivers dropping balls and not having this and not having that? Yeah, probably. But a lot of it, I think, also had to do with the coach, who was not free to choose his own staff, by the way, right? Who was a little shook to do what it would take to get Carson Wentz to buy in, because Carson Wentz has enormous power in the organization. There is a writer, Joe Santaloquido, out of Philly, who did a piece on Wentz and talked about some of these problems in the piece a couple of years ago. And, of course, the Eagles tried to squash him, right? And by the way, if anything, that shows you how much influence Wentz has. But like, these problems you could see developing over time. It's not just like it happened out of nowhere. Wentz was believing his own press clippings. He was told by Dan Orlovsky how great he was every week, in spite of the fact that frequently he wasn't. And Dan, even the thing about Jalen Hurts, they drafted a quarterback in the second round. Like, it's interesting. They were playing the Packers yesterday. Packers also drafted a quarterback, actually in the first round, to replace Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest of all time. And, think about how that went down. Instead of getting him weapons, Rodgers just balled. The Eagles draft a quarterback in the second round to back up Carson Wentz, or to eventually take his job, because they saw him going in a different direction. Wentz is getting the 12th best pass blocking in the league from his offensive line, the 4th best run blocking.
Like, watch the tape.
Still can't do anything with it.
Come on, man. Like, what? You're watching the same game as me. We can't sit here and tell anyone that the offensive line is good. Like, just because.
It's better than average.
A stat that says that their pass block win rate is X, because they're going off a percentage of how many blocks they hold at 2.5 seconds, and some of their offense is catch and throw. So that means that's a win for the offense. It doesn't mean that they're pass blocking well. Yeah. So, like, sometimes those numbers are skewed.
Are they less than average? They're not less than average.
The Eagles' offensive line is not less than average, Max. Everybody is out. They don't have a single. So you mean their backups? You mean their backups, and then their backups are average NFL starters, stop.
But but here's the They're playing like average NFL starters. But here's the problem. Dan, they drafted a quarterback.
So you can't use the Aaron
they drafted a quarterback in the second round.
Aaron Rodgers is one of the 10 best ever, certainly one of the best talents ever.
That's
you don't
right.
think he's got a little bit more mental maturity and emotional maturity to handle that? He's in his 15th year, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Carson Wentz is going into his 5th year. I'm not saying that Carson, you don't want him to be more mentally mature and emotionally tougher, but you can't use Rodgers as the comparison because they're completely different accomplishments. Second of all, I don't understand how you can point consistently back to last year ago, a guy who threw –
because that's when the trend started.
He threw for we've had this conversation.
But wait, Dan. Of all people, this is why I'm really shocked that we argue about this, because you pay very close attention.
The NFL.
But you pay close attention, so you had to. If I saw regression, you had to see it too. You're just ascribing it to different things. But I saw it, and you know 10 times more football than me, so you had to have seen him regressing, and then it continued this year.
But Max,
Dan, let me tell you why you have to sit Wentz
conversation for 3 years about Wentz. Like that, it didn't just start last year.
No. Listen, he has been in terms of charting his progress.
Right,
he was not as good his second year as his first year, etc.
November 19, you started talking about Carson Wentz regressing. You've been saying that since 2018.
Oh yeah. No. Last year in the second half is really when I got on him, Dan. That's really when I got on him. I was shocked at how poorly he was playing and how much praise he was getting. But let me tell you why I think you have to sit him down. I think you have to sit him down now for the rest of this season. Because if you're the Eagles, you're going to have a very high draft pick. You have to see if Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz ain't your quarterback. He's going to be on the team because of his contract, but he's not going to be your quarterback. He'll never be great again. I don't believe you ever will be. I think he's beyond repair.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.